Never thought I'd live in Laguna Woods. Never thought of moving into the old folks' hood. My friends all laughed, told me it'd be a bummer. But now I'm living in an endless summer. Yeah, these are the tales from Laguna Woods. I'm telling tales from Laguna Woods. Yeah, life in Laguna Woods. I'm telling tales from Laguna Woods.
Ooh, this is gonna be fantastic. Oh, this sounds perfect.
What are you talking about?
The Spanish Club. They're having a special meeting with flamenco dancers. Oh, and a great sounding buffet. They're going to have paella and patatas bravas and gazpacho. Oh, it sounds wonderful. You want to go? It's Wednesday at noon.
Sorry, it sounds great, but I promised my new friend Marty that he and I would have a special dinner at his place. Oh. My cooking, of course.
Of course. Oh, very nice. Well, then more paella for me. Oh, it sounds fantastic. Oh, you know what? This would be the perfect thing for me to take Pauline to.
What? She'll hate it.
No, the new and improved Pauline, she'll love it.
No, she won't. She hates, but remember the last time you took her to a buffet?
Oh, this time will be different.
Oh. No, I don't think so. I mean, Pauline said never again, ever. She said, I can't stand waiting in line for food while watching people pile food on their plates like they've never seen food before.
But this time will be different, I guarantee it.
How could it be different?
Hi, Pauline. You and I are going to the Spanish Club for a traditional feast. There's going to be homemade sangria.
Morgana, don't you ever make me get in a buffet line. Never, ever again.
Come on, you had a good time. I saw you smile once or twice.
Yes, I'd like the flamenco dancers.
And what about that paella? It was terrific.
Yes, that was very good.
And the gazpacho was delicious.
Yes, I enjoyed the gazpacho.
And what about all those desserts? Oh, the desserts, the tartas de Santiago, the leche frita, oh, and the flan.
The flan was delicious.
Then what is the problem?
I do not like having to stand in line for 15 minutes to receive my food.
It was not that long.
Oh, yes, it was. I timed it. And I also find it nauseating to see people piling food on their plate as if they're never going to see food again. I mean, how can one person eat that much?
But what about that wonderful homemade sangria? It was flowing generously and freely.
Yes, the sangria made the whole lunch tolerable. But I'm never going to a buffet with you again. Now, tell me what the rules are about this book club you invited me to attend.
Well, they're not really rules. It's very casual. We haven't met in a really long time. Lauren usually runs it, and we just get together and talk about the book. There's no buffet line, but there are great snacks and lots of wine.
Good. Well, I read the book, The Only Woman in the Room, and I am prepared to answer any and all questions any of the other attendees may have.
Of course you are.
Well, I have to go.
Okay.
See you at the next meeting.
See you then.
Morgana, hello.
Annie, hi.
Hi.
Oh, you've changed.
I know, there have been so many changes in my world.
Oh, changes like what?
Well, Marshall and I are no longer together.
Oh.
He stopped being fun.
When was Marshall ever fun?
He expected me to make him 3 meals a day, every day. And he didn't want to go out or do anything. He said everything was too expensive.
Oh, that sounds like Marshall. Why didn't Jackie tell me this?
Oh, I don't think she knows.
Oh, you're right. She hasn't spoken to him for months. How are you doing?
Well, actually, I'm doing okay. During the pandemic, I started delivering food for Instacart.
Oh, I knew that.
Yeah. And then, when things eased up, I entered a ballroom dance contest.
I saw that in the paper. You won first place.
I did. I begged Marshall to come to enter it with me, but he wouldn't. So I found a partner, Bobby, and we entered it and found that we had a lot in common.
Oh, yes. Really?
No, nothing like that. No
Oh.
romance. Well, not at first.
Ooh.
But anyway, we found a great coach, and practice was really fun. And the more we got to know each other, the more we realized we had a lot in common. I realized that Marshall was really weighing me down.
I could have told you that.
Anyway, Bobby and I came up with an idea at the exact same time, the exact same idea, and we started a business.
Really? What kind of business?
Well, it's a catering business, but not really, so I'm not in competition with Jackie.
Okay. So, tell me, explain.
Well, our catering company is called Caterer's Delight, and we pick up from the food from the caterer and we deliver it and we set it up. But it's for parties of 300 people or more, so obviously no competition with Jackie. And it's pretty good. We work pretty well together.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah, but Bobby and I work really well together. We have a great team working for us, and there's a lot of money in this.
Wow. So, what about Marshall?
Well, I moved out of that rental that we were sharing by Gate 4 a couple months ago, and I got my own place. Wait, Bobby has his place and I have mine. We spend all our time together.
Oh. Can I tell Jackie? Please, please, please.
Oh, absolutely. Please tell her. Give her my card in case she can use my services.
Okay.
And Morgana, could you tell Jackie that I'm really sorry?
Jackie, sit down. Oh, you are sitting down. Okay, guess what?
What?
Annie broke up with Marshall.
What?
Yeah, she broke up with him. She left him in that crappy little place she was renting near Gate 4, and she went off to do her own thing. I mean, she said, and I quote, "He stopped being fun."
I could have told her that.
I know. Anyway, she started her own business, a sort of catering business, but not really. She said she's not competition with you. She does everything except the cooking.
Oh.
Here, she gave me her card. Ooh, it's got her address on it. Guess she's doing pretty well. She's living in a 110.
Give me that.
And one more thing. She asked me to tell you she's sorry.
Really, hello everyone. Welcome to our meeting. Boy, COVID really put a dent in our book club meetings, didn't it?
I know. Zoom discussions were so icky. I'm so glad we're back in person. It's all about the human contact.
Yes. And go ahead.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, it was so much alone time. I couldn't stand it. And you know, you can't play Scrabble on Zoom. People cheat.
Right. So, I was the one who chose the book just to get us back on track. And I'm dying to know, how did you guys like our book? The Only Woman in the Room.
Who wouldn't love Eddie Lamar? Come on.
Oh, I know. She was gorgeous. I just idolized her when I was little.
And another thing, we have a new member. Please welcome Pauline. We're really glad you joined us.
Well, thank you for asking me. I took notes as I read along because I feel that to have a proper book discussion, one must be armed with the facts and details. And I assume everyone else has done the same, although I don't see anyone else with notes in front of them.
Oh, Pauline, it's okay. I'm really glad you took notes, but we pride ourselves on looking at the book as a whole and how we relate to it, not just going over a bunch of picky little details. We have this really loose structure, but we have really good discussions. I'm sure you're going to enjoy them. And now it's time for our toast. Who would like to make a toast?
I'll do it. To good friends who love a lively discussion. Cheers!
Cheers! Cheers!
Thank you.
You know, I was very busy this month.
Busy, yeah. We're all busy, Morgana. Does that mean you haven't read the book?
Well, no, I started it. Oh, I'm about halfway through.
Morgana, really? When one is expected to do something, they should fulfill their obligation. Oh, there's so much work for me to do here.
Well, I read the entire book and I had difficulty relating.
What do you mean?
As you know, I grew up in India. Women were cherished in my community and we always actively participated in decision making. A woman was not just a pretty face. Her intelligence and contributions were expected.
I love India. It's my favorite place. You know, I've been to several of the ashrams there. And speaking of ashrams, I went to one in Sedona. Big disappointment.
Oh, no, what's wrong? I've been thinking of going to that ashram. What was wrong with Sedona?
Well, in my experience, you do not speak in an ashram.
No talking? What do you mean, no talking?
I mean, the participants are silent. It is a time for reflection, sans outside stimulation.
No talking. You mean just at meal times, not for the whole time.
Oh, no, I was there for 10 days. We never spoke during the entire time.
For the whole 10 days, no talking? Has anybody ever heard of this? I can't believe this.
Excuse me, ladies, but there's no mention of India or ashrams in the book. Lauren?
Pauline, it's okay for us to wander. It's how we relate to the book.
Well, if that's what you want to do.
Pauline, chill. Oh, I have so much work to do here.
Okay. Listen, talking about India, there is a really good book. Maybe we should read it. It's called The Henna Artist.
It's written by Alka Joshi.
Yes, and her father, believe it or not, lives in our village.
Oh, it's a great book. And we have it in our village library. Maybe we can read that book for next month.
Yes.
Although the book is a fictionalized account, my research shows that Miss Lamar really did live with tremendous fear and oppression and dismissal just because she was a woman and a pretty face.
Well,
Believe me, I know how that goes.
well, I know her life in Europe was difficult, but can't we concentrate on her success? I mean, she was gorgeous. She was a great actress. She was brilliant, and she was a spy.
Ooh.
You know, even though we come from different places, I mean, we always have this chance to reinvent ourselves. You know, kind of like you've done, Jackie, with your catering business.
Yeah, I reinvent myself all the time. It's kind of my thing.
I knew all about her being a science genius, and she was also a spy for the Allies in World War II. Then her mother marries her off to some rich guy who saw her in an Austrian film naked. And then he doesn't let her keep acting.
And he beats her up. He rapes her, and then he expects her, imagine, to be the hostess with the mostest to all his business cronies and his friends. I mean, can you imagine putting on dinner parties for Nazi officers, for Mussolini, for Adolf Hitler?
What she went through was just terrifying. And boy, that luckiness of her not being killed with her family, the whole story almost left me speechless.
Is there anything we can do to make that happen?
You know, with a mind like that, I bet that she was unbeatable with Scrabble.
She invented Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, and the whole internet.
I'm going to name my server Hetty in her honor.
Wasn't she also partially responsible for inventing frequency hopping?
No, Morgana, that's your dating life.
Oh, well, if you got it, you know.
Is this really what goes on at book club meetings?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. Are we actually going to ever discuss the book?
We have been discussing the book.
Sort of, a little bit.
Want any more wine, anyone?
Oh, yes, please.
Me too. What the hell?
You know, I've got a question. Now, if Hetty had not been so beautiful, do you all think that she would have been taken more seriously as an inventor and scientist?
You know, that is a very good question, Susan. Ladies, what do you think about that?
In my experience in Europe, women were considered to have brains and ideas when they got older. Before that, they were pretty faces or invisible.
Well, it's pretty much the same thing here. I mean, when you're not a pretty girl, being noticed, being taken seriously is the least of your worries. I mean, Deirdre, you've probably always been a pretty girl. I'm sure you were when you were young, and I'm sure you still turn heads now. When we were kids, Jackie was always the pretty and the popular one. So was my sister Bobby. So next to them, I felt invisible. And what happens to a person when they feel like that? They become this. Somebody who jumps around on the stage going, look at me, look at me, look at me. I think I've had too much wine.
You are so cut off, Morgana.
Too late for that.
I think we should find a Hedy Lamarr movie to watch together, right?
Yes, that's a great idea.
But let me tell you the truth. I didn't know she was a real person. I thought it's some kind of a joke from Blazing Saddles. But now I read that the first American film she was in, the audience gasped at her beauty.
Let's watch Comrade X. She co-stars with Clark Gable.
But how do you know these old movies? I don't even think I've ever seen a Hedy Lamarr film. And I've been too busy, back then when I was young. Just had too much homework.
Oh, you mean you never watched TV on Saturday afternoon?
No, we mostly watched the evening news, and sometimes we'd get to choose one other film or movie or a TV program, but mostly my parents watched Lawrence Welk.
Yeah, you never went to the movies with your friends? You didn't see Hard Day's Night? Or Help? Oh, say it isn't so.
I don't even know what those are.
You mean you didn't even get to watch the monkeys on TV, I'll bet. Davy was my favorite, just my size.
Hey, you guys, I've just been on my phone looking for Hedy Lamarr movies, and there's lots of them on these streaming services. Jackie, would it be okay if we stay and watch a movie? I mean, it does relate to the book.
I'll get the popcorn popper. You melt the butter.
Oh,
Ooh, this would be fantastic.
Now what are you talking about?
Well, the Spanish Club, they're going to have this big meeting with flamenco dancers and a great sounding buffet. They're going to have gazpacho and paella and patatas bravas. Oh, sounds wonderful. You want to go?
Oh, it sounds great, but sorry, I can't. I promised my new friend Marty that he and I would have this special dinner at his house.
Okay, we'll start over because I didn't tell you what time.
All right, I was just ready. Don't stop.
You were ready. I just forgot to say, yeah.
Okay, action. Take two. As I read along, because I feel that one must be prepared with the proper, with cut
Okay, well, thank you for asking me. Just take a breath.
Yes.
PJ has all the time. Okay.
Well,
That's gonna make the blooper just know. All right. Take a
Well,
breath.
thank.
Okay, action.
Well, thank you for asking me. I took notes as I read along because I feel that to have a